How you doing, Abundant? Welcome back. This channel is for you, those who stop and are interested in my content because you benefit from it in some way. My name is Cissemmmnana Love, and I am reintroducing these videos. I will call them, oops, my tower moment. No, these were originally posted on Mother's Day 2025 around this new moon energy. I was originally trying to let go of this, what was an obstacle, something I don't care to talk about anymore, but it is part of the reason why I'm even able to come in here. I've survived some traumas that I don't think I realized, impact other people when I talk about it. And I've had to look back on my life and go, wow, yeah, like I've gotten really good at transforming and surviving things and moving forward and gaining ground in my life. But I hadn't achieved a certain level of acceptance about who I am and what I want. And that journey started 3 years ago. And so fast forward to why it was so important to let go. This is one of the biggest things that shaped things about me. After I looked at it, I saw how I just erupted. And now that I have done more introspective work, listen, I've been through everything from devaluing myself in the way that I present myself to others, not setting good boundaries, believing the lies about myself, all the way through to spiritual attack. Baby, people, it's not as easy as it looks. I'm a loving person, but I don't always act so loving. And that's the alert to find out what's going on with me. Whenever I have to step out of my character, out of who I actually am, to satisfy some need, something someone's projected onto me, that's a whoa moment. And I don't subscribe to those things anymore. Plus, I'm a very happy person. And I've got a lot to be grateful for. I'm still here doing this. Anyway, if you benefit from my content in any way, keep watching. If you are transforming or have transformed, I want to show you, yes, going through the process does not look sweet, feel sweet, may not even feel good at times. But it's necessary for us to bring more truth into life by emptying out and filling it with things that resonate with who you are, what you want, your life's purpose, whatever it is. But to be your authentic self means letting go of things that weren't yours to begin with, and other people's opinions about you, the things they desire to develop and build in your life, that's not yours. It's not even your business. So watch the next video. I'd love to see the comments. Please like, subscribe, and turn on the alerts. See you on the inside the video because I'm gonna add some commentary. Today I want to talk to you about kind of where I am with all the work that I have done, and as much as I feel confident to come in here and talk to people about transformation, it's a continual thing. Yeah, I've gotten over some of the biggest parts of it where I'm more than functional and not dealing with some of the things that I was before, but I needed to let go. I needed to let go of more. And I'm still letting go, but this big push it's been a doozy for me. And I found comfort in some old negative habits. And one in particular I mentioned on that video, but I don't want to keep talking about that. So here's a format I'd like to try and connect, because there's so much I haven't gone over, to try and connect the dots of where someone might be or what I've gone through. I'm going to go back to the beginning of the greater part of my transformation. I've always been one, first of all, who believes that people with the right circumstances and information help and desire to move forward, to see something through, can achieve anything. Now, you may not reach the goal you set out to achieve, but you will gain ground. You will gain knowledge, understanding, wisdom, strength. That gives you so much in living this life because you're training yourself for success. I look at stories of people who've had colossal failures, and a number of them, like we talk about one of our founding fathers, and really I wouldn't consider him to be a founding father, but one of our early presidents, Abraham Lincoln. He gets a lot of credit for something he didn't actually do, but what he did as a human being, how he lived his life, is stellar. Stellar enough that someone felt the need to kill him. Which is kind of, jacked up in itself, but he had a lot of failures. If you look at the story of his life, he had a lot of hardships, a lot of tests he didn't pass. But he also learned how to have what some people call stick-activity, how to stay on your track, how to weigh the odds of what if you continue in the direction that you believe you should be going in. I haven't always had the things that I needed to achieve the things that I wanted. And it's not about what I want, really. It's more so about living this life and getting the fulfillment out of it that I want. I have to start over. I'm ashy. I'm going to pause right here. Yeah. It's like magic. Oh my gosh. My hands are no more ashy. That was going to mess with me. So let me get to it. I want to bring as many people along on my journey and go deeper as I share into what my story is, why it might resonate with someone, to stay tuned and learn about what I've been through, how I'm alchemizing, life now, and why it's important to share. That will become more clear, but let me outline it for you. First of all, my name is Cissemmmnana. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I live in Michigan right now. And I have had what I think is not unique for my generation, but a number of lifestyle and family changes in the different decades of my life that have been overwhelmingly stressful. I know what it's like to live with deep pain, and I used to get really frustrated when, doctors would give you the questionnaire and, try and see if you fit in the box of, can I give you a pill for depression? When I was growing up, they talked about, what happens when you can't get out of a chronic depression. Now we're seeing that mutate into bipolarism, and they're different, but what we're actually seeing is a transformation of understanding of what the body is going through, the brain-mind connection, rather, how people are receiving stimuli, how they are materializing that in their bodies. We know it to be a chemical imbalance when a person is unable to come out of the melancholy, sadness, or have a range of emotions, erratic thoughts, behaviors, and often is attributed to the cause of anxiety, or that the relationship, how the brain is processing would put those two together. If you have anxiety, you are depressed. If you have depression, you have anxiety. This is a change in the American Psychological Association's guidelines that are used for physicians to write prescriptions. Now, I'm sorry, physicians may have the ability to write prescriptions, but they cannot psychoanalyze you. Everyone who attends college can take some basic psychology classes to understand the guidelines that are given for pharmacological responses to mental and emotional health. And I say that not everything emotional is considered some mental disorder. Not everything that is mentally going on is going to show up as an emotional disorder. Um, but I'm not here to kind of go all down that. But I have to kind of talk about that because it leads into my story. After quite a bit of trauma in my life, I found myself in the category of dealing, I think something just bit me. I found myself in the category of dealing with chronic depression. And then, as much as I fought to turn my life around, not just with any sort of denial, but just moving forward and doing what was best in my life, it made sense to me that since I didn't deal with that emotional trauma my entire life, that the things that I could clearly see were impacting me, like after divorce, having the children that you've been taking care of since you were 14, your own, whisked away after allowing them to leave town over the summer, and then not being able to get them back, and realizing that you put yourself in a situation because no one in your family would help you. Who you think would want to help you would not help you, instead judged you. And to find yourself alone and not having any support. And when I say judgment, if you've ever had someone that you love say you did it to yourself because as a child you made a decision that didn't pan out well, I absolutely love my children, but I started having children when I was 14. I got married to their dad. It interrupted my high school. I, talked about a little bit of that on a different post, but I never once stopped. And I was actually very stubborn in my approach to still having the life that I felt I could have. When that principal told me that I had set the pace for the rest of my life, pretty much, that I was never going to be anything, I was like, I'll show you. Because I didn't think very much of a principal who would allow what she allowed in that school. She didn't give a crap about those kids, in my opinion. I mean, the stuff that teachers were doing, they cleaned house. I'm pretty sure somebody told something, because she wouldn't let any of the students who had a kid back in. She was classy. Whatever her prejudice were, whatever reason she felt justified. So this next part, I cut out a tangent that spoke about negative experiences that I had in high school, specifically a conversation about the principal, the things she said to me, and how that shaped and formed my opinion about people who believe that they're so righteous that they have the right to negatively impact and harm another person. If you read the Bible and you understand that the power of words can create something for another person, the power of life and death lie in the tongue. There was a time in history under the teachings of Paul that we understood the power of words were a sanctified thing. Using words is a sanctified thing. That's part of the reason why I came out and re-edited this event, the video. It was Mother's Day that I loaded it up, and I want to say that Saturday is when I actually recorded it. And I was dealing with my own energy and trying to let go. But what actually happened is I found out I had not let go of things that were much older, deep-seated in my psyche, still being felt in my heart. See, I'm letting go of pain, the causes of pain. So as you watch the rest of this video, you see that little, cut there. So I just wanted to give you a little commentary. I wanted to bridge just the facts, just the details that will be helpful. Now that I have let go and accepted, yes, these things happen. Yeah, it didn't feel good, and it doesn't feel good to have to start from whatever space I'm starting from to rectify the negative effects of those things that happened. Because some things, I've only allowed myself to think about how messed up it was, but hadn't actually done the work on that specific thing. It's one thing to tune the mind and heal the heart so you don't feel bad anymore. But what are you actually doing to change the circumstance that was enacted in your life, if you can. More likely you can, even if it's just changing what you're deciding to wrestle with or let go of or believe going forward. And how do you get things moving? It may be a learning curve. It may be giving yourself experiences to see where you are today. Is this even still important to you to accomplish? Like, some things, yeah, education is important, but there's many ways to educate yourself and to be educated. So watch the rest. That's not for this video. The purpose of me coming in here is to help you understand from the beginning. If you are transforming, if you have become aware of self to the point where you can accept the good and the bad things about yourself, if you have become aware, hopefully you are not charging other people with accepting those things about you, not even your spouse. You can do whatever you want. I don't think it's wise or truly accountable to believe that because you're going through something, the people who know you are supposed to just deal with whatever level of harm you are emitting, whatever energy you bring to the table. If you're highly critical, if you can never find happiness and peace just coming home and being amongst your loved ones without you opening your mouth, you might be dealing with an incessant need, a consistent need to control the world around you if you yourself don't feel balanced, or the ground just doesn't feel like it's underneath your feet. You can't put your finger on it just yet, but something's not right in this environment. Yeah, that's right. If you're going through transformation, you may become extremely sensitive. But remember something. There is no perfect life. There's no perfect wife, no perfect husband, no perfect children. There is no perfect day. Honestly, I kind of live by this belief right here. If it doesn't kill you, move past it. So what? The lights almost got cut off because someone forgot to go down and pay it, but you got it in the nick of time. You caught them before they closed. That's nothing to get mad at. That's something to celebrate. You still have lights. You get to choose half full or half empty, but what's going to build someone else up? What's going to nurture them? If you think that everyone around you is a failure, look at yourself. Odds are we are viewing people through a filter that we view ourselves through. I don't think it's helpful to expect other people to see life and think like I do. This world is as great as it is and as horrible as it is because of the views of the many, the collective. Our thoughts literally are energy that creates this reality we live in. If I think that something exists and I agree with someone else who believes the same, then the more people believe that, the more it is something that people accept. That's what I mean when I say we create this reality. That's the only thing I need to mean here. So just look at self. If you're accepting self, accept that everyone doesn't have to accept you. Give yourself grace. Put yourself in a position to feel supported by you, because maybe I've been the person who has brought a static energy into the house because I had so much to deal with at work, because I was struggling so bad to get through the day. People putting their mouth on you. If you don't know what it's like to be a black woman in this country, you just don't have an imagination, okay? Double minority. And please, I don't want someone to try to compare what it's like to be another minority. That's not the purpose of me saying that. It is not easy to have masculine and feminine energy constantly bombarding your personal space by accepting you to expect something less than you accept for yourself because of how they view you. I literally have had people almost say, just stay in your place. Instead, they said, just do your job. I was doing my job, not anybody else's. I was doing the job you stated everyone in my department should do. So why do I have to do mine and someone else's job? Why is that my job? I'm telling you, I'm not going to keep doing that, especially when this person is attacking me and harassing me for over a year. My hair started to fall out. I'll bet y'all don't ever do that again. Anyway, I couldn't express this to my partner. I couldn't help them understand that I could not stay here. All they knew is that we both needed to work because they didn't want to struggle. So I didn't have that opening to just pull back and be me, unless I chose it with discomfort. And I chose the comfortable route, which is keep working, hope for the best, and starve myself of what I need. And I only got worse. And I'm like, wow, I never thought that I could get worse, that I could feel worse about myself, that I could have no energy, that I could gain weight looking at donuts, that I could start to break down and have less enjoyment of life. And it wasn't because of these things I mentioned. There was already seeds planted. There was a lifetime of not nurturing myself because I didn't know how. So for those people who just assume women are strong, they take care of stuff forever. Editing this video is harder than I thought. There's so many things I wanted to keep in, but I removed a rant I made in regard to me being separated from my children when they were younger after a divorce, and just some basic commentary to parents who are possessing the children and absent parents who may make assumptions. Both parties need to communicate. There's two sides to every coin. And if you really do put the children first, you will fight to find a way. If you can. But you can't force something that one person doesn't want and the other person does. So it was a call to get both parents or both sides of the family to work together for the benefit of the child. They only have one childhood, and then whatever they become as adults, they'll work through those things. Don't give them hurdles to have to jump over or obstacles to have to move. That was the point of what I took out. That's not how it came off. All my emotion came up. I reverted back to the person who was still hurting. And yeah, I still have that footage, but it doesn't belong in this video. So I'm gonna cut to the next topic. Watch. Eventually I moved in with my brother and my life changed. And then I found some roommates and my life changed. I had a better job, and the work that I was doing here was not just counseling, it was self-exploration. It was the power of faith. It was believing that I was never meant to fail, and that as long as I continued on my path and looked at self and learned and took care of myself. And I wasn't, I think just pretty blessed, because there's a lot of things I could have done and I could have been a part of, but I wasn't. This is what I need to let go of. This right here, what you're seeing. The fact that I'm even talking about this, okay? I already have so much. I already have so much to be thankful for. I've been releasing them in my prayers. I did a whole video of release, which I'm going to send to them. I'm not posting this online. As I had a moment, a tower moment, while helping this young man and his sister, who reminded me of my two oldest. And here we go again. So I removed a space that was really personal, and I realized the power of my words. And I mentioned the realization I had about what I miss about their childhood and my interaction with my children. But as I got older, as they got older, we were able to restore a relationship that was torn from the absence and the difficulties between both sides of their family. And so the next point's going to pick up from there. Thank you for continuing on my journey, and I hope this is building hope in you, that you can be more present in your life and the life of those you love, that you'll be the best version of yourself. If I can do it with the many traumas I've had, I'm pretty sure others on the same vein or just deeply wounded people can go deep, find the truth about themselves, and then begin to enter into life in the way they've imagined and will work for. They're always in my heart, always on my mind, every day. There was never a day that I didn't wake up wondering what their day was like, what they had on, where they were going, and it was gut-wrenching. It was hard. And I don't expect any of the people who may have felt they were doing what they needed to do. I don't need to go down their story. I'm not gonna. I have grace for myself now, that I don't carry the view that they've painted of me or how they personally view about me. That's not how I see myself, and I'll never be that person because I lived it. I know what I went through, and I don't have to prove it to anyone. And anyone who, doesn't even know me. Okay, but you want to judge me? If that's how you want to live your life, do you, boo? All I know is I'm here now. The real me can stand up. The me that knows I have a good heart. I know how to maintain good habits, and it comes out of the situation I lived through, trying to be my whole self, knowing that inside of me something else was going on, things that I couldn't tell people about because I myself couldn't put it into words. That was very lonely. It's like being in a room full of people, but completely alone, never feeling like everyone else, because what are we going to talk about in our youth? I didn't go to prom. What is that? Homecoming? What are you talking about? Like, what did I wear to prom? At one point I was making it up, and after a while I would just go, I didn't go to prom. I would just look at you like, why do we assume? And then they go, oh, and then all of a sudden you're an other or different. I'll be an other and different all day long with my beautiful, lovely self. And I'm not talking about the external when I say beautiful. I know what heart beats here. I earned it. I earned it through the pain I've lived through. But this is not pain that I want to give you. I want to help you, person in transformation, first accept the good and the bad. Here's an exercise. I did this morning. So as I'm beginning to wake up, sometimes the things that were running through my mind the night before, or if I had a dream, will come to my thinking. And however I feel about that, I start to sense that in my chest or my stomach. Like, if it makes me happy, oh, I feel it. If it reminds me that I still have an attachment to something in my past and there's still work to do, I might feel that in my chest as well. I might feel it in my gut. Wherever you feel it, what type of sensation is it? Do you feel nervous, frustrated, bitter, angry? Does it make you frown? Pay attention. If you can capture that, that's the truest version of how you feel. Why is that important? It doesn't matter what you tell yourself you think. You're responding from your emotions. Maybe there's some work you need to do, and I'm not going to use the term heal, because this is not about healing here, but to identify and observe really about you. Where are you really about something? If you find that certain holidays you don't care to be over certain relatives' houses, why? What are you burying there? Deal with how it makes you feel, and then you can ask yourself, when did I initiate this program that this is how I was going to respond? And why? So when I say initiate this program, your brain creates, your mind rather, creates some form of a survival mechanism when you don't feel safe. So at some point you felt less secure about a relationship, being in some place, whatever. And if you've never really dealt with it, it is triggering something underneath your thinking. It's turned into something. It materialized into something, whether you're aware of it or not. So those questions, when did I create this program that my mind tells itself, this way of responding to this thing, and why? Now, if you are able to use the visualization of yourself in your memory, try to remember the last time you felt that way. Where were you? What were you doing? What about the time before that? Go back, deal with where you were and what you were doing, what triggered you. And it will actually tell you, oh, I'm sensitive to when someone responds this way, but why? Oh, because at 7, I got a whooping for someone lying on me and saying I did something and I didn't do it. And now, whenever someone speaks about me in a way that I don't feel is a true representation of myself, and this is not something that really happened, it's actually like a combination of people's things, but it makes me very angry. And now I'm going to come for whoever lies about me or misconstrues, because sometimes it's not the people lying about you. They may have their own skewed perception of you based on their own experiences and what they're actually responding to. When you are around people who have experienced a wide variety of things, which is common in a country where parents work and kids are at home, there's a disconnect. There is not, let me help you through this. Oh, I'm so sorry you scraped your knee. I'm here as soon as you get home. Like, that's not happening for a lot of people. So you've come to the end of part 1. So I did edit out a rant in regard to growing up latchkey. Many of us in my generation and before and after have grown up without our caregivers being readily available. And some of the things that you've experienced that cause trauma in those circumstances can, kind of become an overshadowing kind of umbrella on other issues. It's important to get out of blame for people who are doing their best. Now, if you're in a situation where people's best was falling way short or harmful to you in some way, the whole point of this is healing internally, finding the power within self, going to the chewy center of you, okay? And liking what you see and working through the difficult things that you may not be able to change, but you can impact your life in a way that works for you today. Follow the next video. Go find part 2, watch it, and I'd love to see your comments. Don't forget to like if you like this content. I want to build up this channel and continue to share and continue to learn and grow right in front of you and with you. Transformation Tribe, let's do this.